Trailblazers. Hello, Trailblazers. Welcome to my channel, Salesforce with Adnan. My name is Adnan, your go-to guide for all things related to Salesforce. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon so you stay up to date with my latest content. Today, I'm going to be diving into an essential topic for anyone looking to an important step in Salesforce career, and that is Salesforce Admin Certification Exam. Whether you're just starting your Salesforce journey or looking to solidify your knowledge, this video should help you to understand what to expect on the exam, how to prepare effectively, and some tips and tricks to boost your chances of success. So, you know what? Grab a notebook and let's get started. So, if you are someone who's looking to sit the Salesforce admin exam, the first thing you need to do is you need to find the exam guide. How can you find the exam guide? You're going to have to go into the Trailhead. This is the home page. You're going to have to go into the credentials, certification, the certification you are interested in. We're talking about admin. Click on the admin, and right at the top here in the about the exam section, you will see get the exam guide. Click on the exam guide and you will land on this page. Now, Salesforce exam guide from Trailhead is your comprehensive guide about the exam you are going to be sitting. So you will find all sort of information here. For example, about the exam, you're going to have 60 different MCQs to answer in 105 minutes. Your passing score will be 65%. Your registration fee for the first time is going to be $200. And for some reason, if you do not pass in the first time, your retake fees from that time onward will be $100. Delivery option, you can do it from home. It's going to be a proctor exam. Either you can do it from home or you can also do it from a testing center as well. So whatever is convenient for you, you have different options. About the reference, this is not an open book uh, exam. So make sure when you are sitting the exam, especially from home, you do not have any hard copy or online materials which you can reference during the exam. Then it also talks about the recommended training and the references. It talks about the trail mix, prepare your Salesforce admin credential, very important resource. It This trail mix actually takes you from the very beginner. Uh, you can see from the very beginner, Salesforce platform basics, to all the way to an expert, right? It also talks about the super badges and the practice test. So practice test and the super badges are a very good way of putting your knowledge you have taken through these trail mixes and the videos, and take that knowledge and put that knowledge to the test through the super badge. So this is highly recommended. I do not recommend anyone try to sit the exam without doing few practice tests and definitely these 3 super badges. Now, when it comes to practice test, it is recommended by Salesforce that you do the Salesforce Trailhead practice test, but also there are other companies which are very good in terms of providing the practice tests. Focus on Force is one of them. SaasGuru is one of them. Um, it's up to you what company do you want to use for the practice test. But I would highly recommend that you finish all the trail mix, all 3 super badges, and do plenty of practice tests before you try to sit the exam. Now, the last but not least, your exam outline. Under the exam outline, you can see the different modules you need to be covering and their percentage weightage in the exam. So configuration and setup, 20%, object manager, lightning app builder, sales and marketing application, service and support application, productivity and collaboration, data analytics, and workflow process automation. So you need to know about all of these, you need to know something. But what is that something? All you have to do is click on this, expand this, and you should be able to see it says describe the information. So you should be able to describe the information found in the company setting. For example, company setting, fiscal year, business hours, currency management, and default setting. Distinguish and understand the administration of declarative configuration of the user interface. For example, UI setting, app menu, list views, global actions, and Lightning app builder. Given a scenario. Now, this is a key word here. Given a scenario. So most of the questions you're going to come across in your admin exam, they are going to be scenario based. So when it says given a scenario, demonstrate the proper setup and maintenance of user. So you may get questions around how to set up the user and how to better maintain the user, the existing user in your org. Explain the various organization security control. For example, set up audit trails, login hours, session settings, and then given a user request scenario. So again, we're talking about a scenario here. Apply the appropriate security control based on the features and capabilities of the Salesforce sharing model. Salesforce sharing model is something which I recommend that you invest your time in to understand, because that is something which is always going to stay with you. Even when you become a senior admin, or even if you become a technical architect, everything is gonna be Salesforce sharing model is basically the architect of whatever you will be doing. So it's very important that you understand the public groups, org wide default. What is org wide default? How do you open up the access? Your sharing roles and responsibility, sharing roles and your hierarchy, reports and dashboard folders. And then the last in this configuration and setup comes the determine the appropriate use of custom profile and the permission set using the various profile settings and permissions. Once you have covered all of this, then you move on to the object manager and the Lightning app. And under the object manager, you would be covering standard object, custom object, different type of relationships like parent child, master detail, and the lookup and the junction objects and the junction relationships, and the record types. You will also have to work out that how do you actually use uh, different how do you actually create different page layouts, how do you use the combination of page layouts and record types to manage different journeys, and how do you actually assign these page layouts and record types to different profiles, uh, and and how do you create different fields onto each page layout. So also, given a scenario, determine how to create and assign page layouts. Once you've done that, then you move on to sales and marketing application. Under the sales and marketing application, given a scenario again, identify the capabilities and implication of sales processes. For example, you need to understand what is a sales process, what is opportunity, how do you create an opportunity, how do you convert a lead into an opportunity, and how do you actually create a path, how do you use the guidance for success, and then you also need to understand what is a lead, how do you actually create a lead, how do you convert that lead into an opportunity, and you also need to understand the dashboard and some other productivity features like lead scoring, Einstein opportunity scoring, and homepage assistant. Then you move on to the service and support application. First of all, you need to understand what falls under service. So you need to understand what is a case, how do you actually assign the case to different teams, what are the case assignments, and what are the support processes we have in Salesforce, and how do you actually escalate these cases to different teams. Then you also need to understand about the case assignment rules and the queues. Then you will be moving to productivity and collaboration, which is 7% on it on the exam. So describe the capabilities of activity management. So you need to understand what falls under the activity management. You need to understand the features of chatter, capabilities of Salesforce mobile app, and also you should be able to identify the use cases of when to go on the app exchange and use the app exchange product rather than building your own products. Then the second last on this list is data analytics management, and the last is workflow process automation. Now, in terms of the percentage, there's only 14 and 16%, but I always say that this data and analytics management and your process automation, this is a differentiator between an average admin and a very good admin. So the very good admin you will see in the Salesforce ecosystem, they will be really good at the data and analytics management, and they will be really good at the process automation. So for the purpose of this exam, you need to understand how do you import the data into Salesforce, how do you export data from Salesforce, how do you actually update the data in Salesforce in different ways, how what is mass deleting, and you need to be able to describe the capabilities and implication of data validation rules. So first of all, you need to understand what is the validation rule, why do you actually use the validation rule, how do you actually improve the data quality using the validation rule, and then you need to also be able to describe the options available when creating or customizing a report or a report type. So first you need to understand what is the report and how do you create a report, and how do you customize a report, and also what is a report type, and how do you actually use this combination of report type and different reports to get the best out of the Salesforce reporting tool. Describe the impact of the sharing model on report, and also describe the options available when creating and modifying dashboards. So for example, how do you actually subscribe to a dashboard, what does a running user mean, what kind of different charts are available when you actually creating a dashboard, and what are the dashboard components. Then the last is process automation. This is where you need to be able to identify uh, the appropriate automation solution based on the requirements and based on the capability of the tool. So you really need to understand what is the approval process you can do with approval process, what is that you can do with approval process, and at what point you need to jump into a flow, and what does a flow do, what is a flow, what does it do, and what kind of different flow you need to do based on different business requirements. Now, once you've covered all of this and you have covered all your trail mix, and once you have gone through your practice test and you have done these super badges, anyone should be ready to sit in a admin exam. What I normally do whenever I'm actually studying for an exam, what I normally do is I create a sheet, an Excel, simple Excel sheet, and copy and paste that exam guide here, and then I put the confidence. So for example, under the configuration and setup, I would put complete setting, my confidence is high, right? So I would try to make sure my confidence level for all of these topics under each module is medium to high, minimum medium, and ideally it should be high. Once I have that, it really give me a good indication of, okay, this is the area where I really need to improve, this is where I'm weak, and this is my I have low confidence, and so this is what I need to understand. So remember one thing, you are going through these trail mixes, make sure you're trying to understand the concept. You're not trying to complete these to get the points, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to understand the concepts so that when you go into an exam, you should be able to connect the dots. Okay. And when, especially even after the exam, take one step further, even after the exam, when you actually get into a job, you need to think like, okay, when you go into the job, you need to be able to connect these dots in a way that you can actually solve some business problems. Then only people will see value in you as a Salesforce admin. Remember, Salesforce admin is a very, very important role in any organization. And if it's done right, it opens up so many good opportunities for Salesforce admins. So with this, our today's video comes to an end, and I hope you found this video helpful and it gives you the confidence to prepare for the exam. So one thing you always need to remember, that this is about the consistency, not the intensity. So make sure that every single day you are giving 30 minutes or an hour to your Salesforce Trailhead, your practice exam, and also try to Join some study groups because study groups is a really good way of accelerating your Salesforce learning. So if you have any questions or if you need any more clarification, drop a comment below and I will be there to help you. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, then give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and subscribe to my channel. Also, click on the bell icon to be notified of my latest uploads. Thank you very much for watching. Good luck with your Salesforce exam prep and see you in the next video. Happy Salesforcing.